There we go.
It is
And
so
there, we're live.
see that. We haven't seen that in so long. Oh my gosh.
I was trying to figure out how to do the buttons here because it's a different program I'm using than last time. So I was trying to figure out what button to get us back on there, and I couldn't get us back on.
We're getting it. Good to see you, John. Oh my gosh.
No, it's
Everybody.
great to see you, and I see it's working. If you can see there, but it's working. So we
All
are
right.
live.
You're in charge of the phones. I'm like
So
a one
hopefully,
trick wonder when it comes to phone or computer. I got
you
to.
write in the comment.
What's that?
And I'm just doing that. Good. So yeah, it's been like we said, like over a year. Lots of changes, lots of things happening.
So many things
Like
happening.
it's been a long time coming. Put it that way.
I'll tell you, and many tries to get us back up and running. And guys, everybody that's watching, I just want you to know this is our little podcast that could. This is our podcast called On Set with Sarah and John. I'm Sarah Lyons Gladman, and this is my great friend John Butler. And we have a mutual giant history in the fitness industry from Canada back in the 90s uh, and how we were connected. John, if you just want to kind of introduce the people that have no idea who we are, like what we're doing here.
No, definitely. So, as you know, I have my other podcast, which I do, and started doing another photography podcast with a friend of mine, and we were running what to do. We're at home, we're stuck, and then you and I got talking actually through a mutual friend, and found out how much we knew a lot of the similar people in the industry. You growing up as in the late 90s, early 2000s as a model in the industry, the fitness industry, and me working at one of the top magazines, Muscle Mag, all through the 90s and early 2000s, and doing photography for them on the side, for the late, rest in peace, Robert Kennedy there, and who gave me my start, and found out that now you were shooting, and we both have that love for photography. And I used to be a fitness photographer. You are still a fitness photographer, and other things, which we'll get into later, of course. And so we decided, why not bring this out here? You have your magazine, Bodyscape, and we wanted to promote your Bodyscape and your epic destinations and bring on people that you deal with to make all that happen. And we've had some amazing guests on here, people that just, you just get humbled by.
I will tell you, I mean, yeah, exactly. We get schooled, taken to school with some of the knowledge that these people leave us with. And the fact that we just get to allow them to speak and tell their stories, it's humbling just to be sitting here in the seat, to have the people come on our show. And I'm super grateful and super excited to get this thing back and running. Like I said, we were the little engine that could, but I think that we have so much potential to be a lot more, especially with some of the new people that I've met in my life recently over the past year, I would say. We've got a lot of influence around us in many different facets. So I'm excited to share it with everybody.
Exactly. And it's funny how our directions have gone, where I've not done a lot of fitness stuff lately, but I've went into more of the portrait work and more into schools and sports and things like that. Whereas you've went not still doing the fitness stuff, but on that time, you also varied off into a couple different facets. Like, of course, we're going to show later on. And it just shows that the vast knowledge that we have for just photography itself. And I think with this show, it wasn't as much more about the photography, a big part of it, of course, but it's more about the people that you're shooting, and the people that were getting into the magazine there, and more about what you can do for them to help them feel better about themselves, because you do make them feel better about themselves.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And you know what? They make me feel better about me as well. So it all works. It's all a great big circle, and it all feels amazing to be able to do this. So with that said, what I think we should do is maybe talk about the fact that yesterday I just launched the 32nd edition of Bodyscape magazine, which is a magazine that I created back in 2018. And when we first started it, it was just kind of like an art share of a lot of the work that I do. But then it evolved once I met our mutual friend, Carrie Lee Brown. It evolved into a real storytelling platform around issue 10, I want to say. And ever since around issue 10, maybe 11, Carrie Lee Brown has been on board with us as our personal one-on-one storyteller between the cover models and the interviews that go into the magazine. The models and Carrie curate these stories together for the readers for inspiration specifically. And I will tell you that no one inspires me more than Miss Lorelei Parker. And she is the one that is gracing the cover of issue 32 with our good friend Doug. Ding. And they know what that means. And I
How
can
about we
probably hear her
share?
laughing in the background because our good friend Doug is also on the cover. Doug Webb was a huge, amazing man and a wonderful companion to Lorelei, a wonderful partner for her. So, without further ado, let's welcome our fabulous cover model for issue 32 of Bodyscape Magazine, my good dear friend Lorelei Parker.
Definitely. Let's bring her in here. And there she is.
Hi. Hello, you both. I'm sorry I don't have Doug with me. I feel like after that intro, Doug's supposed to be here. So
Well,
next
he
time
is in
we'll make
spirit.
him come.
All we have to do is sing his little chime. Meet
Yeah.
our good friend Doug.
Yeah. And he's a bit shy. I mean, pulling him out for that cover was something. I mean, Sarah, you had the skills and the talent to make
Did
that
you just say
sunny
he's
shy
shy?
man
I
shine.
don't know that guy.
A little bit. Yeah. No, he shone on that set, and you can see by the cover by our smiles.
That was great. That was a wonderful shoot. And I'm just happy to have you back. You were on before and you were part of our intro and, leading into the onset process. And you've been around for a while. And so I'm so grateful that you are our kickoff guest again. We're so happy to have you back.
Thank you for having me back, both of you. And John, backstage, we've been having a bit of a reunion ourselves, you and I. It's been too long.
I know it's been way too long. There's so many. I tell you, like life. I don't know where does the time go. And then I think, oh gosh, we've got to bring the show back. And then something happens, or it's not a happen thing. It's just time passes, right? And then the opportunity just kind of moves down the road. But then, literally last week, I thought, Lorelei, she's coming back. Like, let's bring her back. Bodyscape's coming back. This is amazing. We're doing this, and you're the perfect bring back guest. So grateful to have you here, honey.
Well, and Sarah, when you call, I always pick up the phone.
I love you. Thank you so much. I know this could get into like one of those talks, but let's talk about things. You have been everywhere. Why don't you kind of give people a rundown of everywhere that you've been, what Lorelei is all about, like El Salvador, like your peace movements all over the world. You are just a fascinating individual.
Thanks, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Gosh, thank you. After that introduction, yeah, it's been a whirlwind of 5 years. So I would have covered in the last episode and in the magazine, it's going to cover a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
So you can all read about it. But 5 years ago, there's a crazy dream that could I take peace building in a real way to the pageant system? And could we build a platform not only centered on my indigeneity and my experience as a Métis female, but also my experience in the pageant world? Could I actually bring this platform to life? And so 5 years of working hard, I went from a local title to Mrs. Canada to winning a continent to representing now with Mrs. Uni World Elite and bringing home that world crown last October. So it's been less than a year and I'm still, you can see it behind me. I've put it on display so everyone can see. There is nothing like bringing a world crown home. So what that means though is sharing this crown. It's not meant to sit on a shelf. This is one of the first time it's ever just sat still for the night. It's everywhere. We were just locally in rural Alberta, Canada, where I live on the weekend in Drumheller, sharing the crown with the community there. And we've had lots of global travels. So most recently, El Salvador, such an exciting time to bring it there. We were part of the Rotary Convention, which was hosted here in my home in Calgary. We had 18,000 people come to our city and get to share in the crown. So that has been a big thing. And then prior to that, we were actually in Mexico. So we had a chance to bring it there and share with everybody in the community. And the list kind of goes on. I brought it across India after I won there. And every chance I get, I keep saying yes to things. So I actually just booked a future crown trip to New Zealand. So that's coming up. I just hit yes on the itinerary. We've been to Chicago quite a few times with the crown. Yeah. So and obviously working with you, Sarah, we've been out to Florida and that's been incredible. and the list just goes on. So I don't want to bore everybody, but if we got out a map, there'd be a lot of places on it right now.
Yeah, she's got one of those maps that has like pins for everywhere that she's been all over the globe, I'm sure. At least if you don't have it on your wall, it's definitely in your heart, for
It's
sure.
in my living room.
How did I know? How did I know? Well, talk about your earrings. You always have the most fabulous earrings, and Lorelei loves to represent her Indigenous Métis roots. And I know that this is where this is coming from. You've gifted me with a pair too, as well, that I've worn on occasion, and they are just so fun and fabulous.
Yeah. I like to say that earrings are kind of the way I speak to the world and the way I get to support local artists as well. I'm not good at beading and crafting, so the most I can do is just support people who are given that gift. These particular ones, you can see they have a little bit of bling. A woman I know, she loves to create earrings, and so she's been really busy finding more bling for me so that I can kind of embody that pageant spirit, but in an Indigenous way. And there is a long history of pageant royalty in Indigenous cultures. So especially when you go on the powwow trail or anything like that, you'll see a lot of these earrings. You just don't always see them paired more on a Western typical pageant stage. So yeah, earrings are my trademark. But
Yeah.
you know how it kind of happened is I was in my first placement in South America with Foreign Affairs, and I was in Bolivia. And I was shopping like crazy. I was in Argentina and Brazil and Peru, and I was just trying to live out of this tiny little space. I lived behind a bar in Bolivia, and I was working on my project, and I didn't really own much. But I started realizing that if I bought earrings, they were small and I could get lots of them. And so I started my earring collection most formally in 2003. So that's when it actually became
You must
intentional.
have this basket that's as big as this basket that's behind me, like just full of earrings.
Yeah. Every time I shoot with you, Sarah, I bring an array of choices, and we go with Joey and Lisa and you through my collection, and you kind of say yes, no. I think the most interesting ones I brought you were those tails. The
Oh,
last-
the tails for sure, and they made it into the magazine, didn't they? I'm going to tell you, like, so Lorelei is no stranger to my system, but I feel like we've worked together for like 10 years, but it's only been
Yeah.
a few years. You've come to 3 of my shoots,
Yeah.
and each one of them has been so uniquely different, and they've all been epic destination shoots, and they've all been like amazing. And for each one that Lorelei does, she just kind of advances herself along the system. She knows how my stylist works. She knows how the hair and makeup people work. Like, it's just an amazing process. You're one of the easiest clients. You don't ask a lot of questions. You're just like, let's just roll with it. I know it's going to be amazing. So let's talk about this last one that we did for Bodyscape
Yeah.
specifically. That was a wild day because from how it started to how it ended was like a quick transfer of weather and just kind of vibe all the way together. It was all awesome, but the shoot day itself was planned out far in advance, and we just didn't. That's the thing with Epic, right? You just kind of you go with it because you never know if I'm gonna put you next to an Airstream trailer, or if I'm gonna tell you to go get up in this tree somewhere with a fabulous gown. I mean,
These are all true stories, just for everyone listening.
stories. There's no exaggeration here. But so yeah, talk about that from your end, how you
Yeah.
interpreted that day with our good friend Doug.
Yeah, I mean, it was several of my partner Doug with me because I was trying to describe what happens and how alive you feel in it and how exhausted you are by the end of the day, but how full your heart is, and you just know you've done good work. And
Yeah.
so a lot of people they don't realize around the industry, and you and John are alluding it to the beginning, it's work. Right? Like it's fun to go and dress up and do the things, but it's work. Like Sarah, the number of squats I see you do as you're trying to get down and get the right thing. Like I know you're physically exhausted by the time you've done an epic destination shoot, but this particular one was really fun, and I had the benefit of coming out of set in a little bit later in the day. And so you'd been shooting all day, but I came onto this magnificent set that was this house. And so you can probably tell more about it. But as we drove in, the cab driver was dropping us off and he goes, "Are you sure this is where you're supposed to be?" And I have this random bag with me with sequins pouring out of it. And I'm holding my kit of earrings and I'm high heels. And he's like, "What are you guys doing?" We're like, "A photo shoot, of course." And out pops Sarah, and there she is. I think you were shooting Kimmy when I arrived.
Yeah, I
And
was
it was
photographing Kimmy Lynn. Yeah.
beautiful because you were already by the pool and the sun was beautiful and things were just all set up, and we got to actually just ease into it and kind of observe for a little bit and take
Yeah.
part. And then you took a break, we got to chat, and then I was off starting to get ready. But what I loved about this particular set is exactly what you said, is there's so many options. So you'll see in the magazine pictures of Doug and I, and there's a sign that says love, and that was just where I wanted to be. And I remember at one point I wanted pictures by it before we were in hair and makeup. And then I think one part was muddy because it had been raining. So he had to carry me. And so we have these behind the scenes shots of Doug carrying me and us laughing our heads off. And all this happened before we actually got into hair and makeup. Yeah.
Yeah, because we were still touching Kimmy up, I want to say, for her second to last.
Yeah, I think you're doing exactly.
But you needed to get there and merge with the property.
Because it's a whole experience. Like, and it's the same thing every time. It's like whether we're at the beach or we're here, it's an entire experience. We're at the beach or we're here. And that's what I like to tell everybody is, just be ready for it. Just be ready. Because if you're open and you take direction well, and you know if you're coachable and you know the basics and you're good, you're going to thrive working with somebody like you.
It's so hard to explain. We have a bit of a delay.
It's John. We weren't before John got here.
I know. Sorry, I got kicked out.
This is.
No, if we went into the chat, you would have saw that I tried to write that I got kicked out, and I was trying to get myself back in. I finally got back in, so I apologize.
What does it take to get kicked off?
You guys, but I was listening to it. You guys, I have it on my phone to make sure it's recording, and I was listening to you guys on there talking about our jewelry and stuff, so I'm kind of caught up. So.
Yeah, you got a lot. You missed like 10 minutes. That's okay.
Yeah, I can always go back and watch it because I kind of have it on my computer.
Everybody can. Like, look, this is our, forgive us for the new platform. It's our comeback show. And glad it's Lorelei here working through it with us. But
they were probably looking at it going, great, he's finally gone. And now all of a sudden I came back.
No. You're a fearless co-host.
Oh, wow. So, sorry, I interrupted. You guys can go right along with what you were talking about.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you saying that you kind of have to be there to get to know the process, because when I'm talking to the Epic Destinations program to other people, they do not get what it is until they get there. You can't describe it. You have to experience it. And I'm glad that you've experienced it 3 different times so far.
Yeah, it's incredible. Whether you walk in and just the wardrobe, that's phenomenal to me. What did Joey bring? And so every time. And I always bring some little. Sometimes half the time they don't make it in, or they do make it in. They do make it in. But it really is art. And people don't always understand that. On set and creating in your body, and Sarah getting the right angles, and Sarah getting the right eyes, the vision, and the everything. So when you're in it and you connect all of that, no other experience.
I love that. No, it's great. I love that. No, it's great. We want to try and take a delay if there's anything that we might.
Else, if I turn myself back on, there is a delay, and I'm hoping I'm not getting an echo. I might have to go back out and back in again. I'm not sure, only because my echo cancellation is not going on. Now, I am wearing headphones, so it shouldn't be doing it, but sometimes it still does it. So I might leave and let you two talk for a second, and then I'll come back in.
There's no delay for you.
No, but on the recording later on, I might have one of your microphones going into my microphone.
Oh.
And it'll be a split-second delay. So I'm going to try and see if I can minimize that somehow.
Gotcha. Okay. So sorry guys for any experiencing, but again, it's our first time back. So roll with it. Lorelei, I want to talk about Gary in your interview and how that all unfolded. It was just such a beautiful story that you told, and you just depicted it She never doesn't turn over a story to me that's like totally fabulous and amazing and awesome. But your story is just absolutely like crystal clear, beautiful, trials and tribulations, but also like all the magnificence that you have. You're a fabulous mom. You know, you are a Mrs. Canada, Mrs. Unity World, you know, global peacemaker. And the way that Carrie interviewed you was just absolutely fabulous. So super grateful for you to be in this edition, on the cover of this edition, the star of this edition. So talk about what your interview process was like with Carrie.
It was very much like this, like sitting down with a good friend. And I had never met Carrie, but we started talking, and she just asked questions that make you open up. And before you know it, you're sharing a little more, and then you're like, how is she going to wrap this up into a story that fits in like the magazine? And somehow, she got the key points. And what I was really impressed by was how she wove the story. So she saw this piece and it went over there, and then this piece and that. And my comfort level with sharing my story was really high. I was able to say, yeah, this happened. We've experienced some tragedy in our family. And sometimes when we're doing things like this, we want to be our best self. We want to be sparkly and be all of it. And sometimes it's just really good to be real and to say these things happen, and we need to talk about reality. Things happen, and we need to talk about reality, which sometimes can be
John, you brought back the That's sex.
I'm sorry, what did I do?
The echo is back.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get rid of it. You guys go ahead.
Okay. Poor guy. I mean, who wants an echo? Okay. But just saying, so speaking of all of that, okay, let's talk about we both went through something extremely tough around the same time. I will say this, Lorelei, you are an absolute trooper, because shortly before you came to Miami, you experienced a significant loss in your family, and the father of your children passed away, right? And this was maybe 2 weeks before the shoot, or a week before? I mean, it was a short.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the exact timing. Sorry, I think my dad had passed away and my kid's father was passing away. I have to look at the shoot date, but I think that's the order it went, because my dad had passed away September 10th.
Okay.
And then I'm trying to remember what day we shot, but then I came, and then the kid's dad was passing away when I was there. I think that was, he went and had his final days in the hospice. Like, we were in the thick of it all. And it's honestly such a blur now that I can't remember exactly what point we were at in the shoot.
Well, I mean, and I was there, and my dad was still alive, and, but he was definitely struggling. He was in an assisted living home. He had been, although he had been in and out of 2 different psychiatric wards because of dementia and Alzheimer's. It hit him quickly. He had been in and out, and over the past, 4 years or so, my husband and I had dealt with some real, personal battles with dealing with all of everything that goes along with that. But he was finally in a great place, and he was resting, and he was doing awesome. And, we were on that shoot, mid-September, the 3rd week in September, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, when I got home, my birthday is October 2nd, and I went to go visit him. And that was literally the last day I ever saw him. I got a call on October 17th that he basically just passed away in the middle of the night in his sleep. I mean, what a blessing that he went that way. But I thought, oh my gosh, Lorelei and I are connected in that sense, because we both lost our dads at such a close time together. And I'm just,
timing is
right. And we became good friends. And so you and I could kind of like bounce off of that with each other and check in with each other. And how are you doing? Because I know that you were close with yours. And it is a loss. I went through this Father's Day going like, all right, even though I didn't have like my authentic dad, right? It was the first Father's Day that I had without dad, and same with you. So that was a little rough for me. I reached out to a couple people, and I was like, you just kind of feel somber on that day.
Yeah, it hits you differently. For me, it was even just a couple days leading up. And it's funny, I said to my kids, I said, hey guys, like, what do you want to do on Father's Day? It's your first day without your dad. And then they turned to me and they said, but it's your first Father's Day without your dad. And I was like,
Oh,
ah, right. Like they had the students. I mean, we're lucky. I have a wonderful stepfather who's been in my life for 15 years. So
awesome.
we still have my stepdad with us. My biological dad is the one that passed away. So I feel like I'm lucky because I still
Yeah.
have a father figure in my life. But yeah, just going back to the astutments of my kids at 11 and 13 to connect with me and say, but what about your dad? I just thought that blew me away. I don't know if at 11 or 13 I would have been able to think that way.
Right. That process is there with them, but you're an amazing mom.
Ah.
You
We'll
instill
see.
that into
We'll
them.
see what the grades come out as. And
The grades, it's all about the grades, right?
they have missed school with some of the travels. They did come with me on the most recent trip to El Salvador.
Oh,
So their Spanish is getting quite good.
I love that. Well, let's talk about that for a second. What was that trip like for you and your family?
John's back.
You're done. I feel like yes.
We can hear it replaying in the background as well, John. Hmm.
Oh, that's all right for now. Well, at least we're not at a lack of things to talk about. So
Yeah, and maybe John, we can switch spots and we can see if you take me out and keep you. Maybe it's a
yeah,
two-person thing.
when we do the other pieces for sure, we'll go in
Yeah,
there.
you can swap me out and I can be the backstage person.
Yeah, John, is that a possibility?
Oh, so we just look crazy. So everybody out there, we're talking to John, but you can't see it. He just informed us that you can't hear him or see him. So now Sarah and I just look crazy, like we're
We're right
talking
here.
to
We're
ghosts.
just we've got Charlie's Angels. He's well, wait a minute. Do we have any echo right now? We don't have any feedback right now. Yeah, that's what Lorelai was saying. Like, great, whatever works. Working, working through the kinks.
I love this because those listening can't hear John. So it's like, you know, when people have the thing in their ear, the
Oh,
secret
like,
microphone that's like giving them the instructions. That's what's happening to us right now. We're literally like spies.
they're absolute CIA. Like, this is going down. We're not actually talking about the bank we're about to rob across the street. Oh my gosh, it's been so good catching up with you. But what's next? What's next for Lorelai?
Yeah. So really what's next is, like I said, I'm just sort of parsing out the next 6 months, what takes me to year end. So the exciting and semi-sad part for me is my reign is going to be done for the year in September actually. It was meant to be November, but they pushed the pageant dates up. And so the pageant person, Amit, who we're gonna have to have on the show sometime, he is such a riot. I enjoy him so much.
I would
But
love.
he was saying because of all the holidays in India in November, it's quite hard to run the pageant then. So he's moved the dates up to September. And I said right away, that's 2 months off of my reign. Like you can't do that to me. So I just booked my tickets. I fly out to India at the end of August, and I'll be part of the pageant. So I'll be a reigning queen. But all for the time that we're there, we'll be looking at the new candidates and seeing who's possible. I'll get to take on a special new role, which I'm really excited about with the organization. I'm going to become their advocacy coach. So that makes total sense.
That makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, and I'll get to MC some of it and obviously get to be one of the judges. So that's coming up pretty quick. I have the summer to get my wardrobe ready, get myself sorted, and of course because of that, Sarah, I'm going to be missing the next Epic Destination shoot, which is not ideal.
It's not ideal, but you know what? what you're doing is ideal, and it's going to help more people than you attending this Next Epic Destination shoot. And, I will always be available for you and the team. So we can shoot whenever, we can make something awesome happen. But like outside of Bodyscape, don't you have another publication coming out? Isn't that going
Oh,
to be
yes,
sometime
that
soon?
is right. We thought we'd make it interesting for everybody, and why not go to Dubai? Hey,
Why
Sarah, why not?
Let's get published on a cover in Dubai that's like distributed all over Dubai.
Yeah. I was actually in Dubai not that long ago with COP28 with the United Nations Initiative. And at the time, I did this really cheesy photo shoot, and I went in the desert with the camels and the flying dress. And I thought, oh, this would be super cool to like one day actually do something more with all the fashion people and things happening in Dubai. And so when this opportunity came up, Sarah, I was really excited that you brought it to me because Chic Dubai looks amazing. And
Chic
I cannot wait. I don't know how to be more excited because I'm so excited about this cover of Bodyscape that I'm just literally having an out-of-body experience. But now the thought of a second magazine cover coming out so shortly that's based out of Dubai is very surreal to me.
You're worldwide, baby. You're worldwide. And the work that we do is being seen by the world. And that's what I love doing is expose is not the right word, but just like share your image with the world, share your vibe, share everything that you're doing with the world. You stand for so much, and your message deserves to be heard. And so I'm just super grateful to be the one that like is able to provide those opportunities for you. It just makes all the sense in the world for a good person like you.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome, and we'll shoot again whenever you get an opportunity. And
well, of course, I'm back in September. We're going right back out there. We got work to do.
Okay, so like I'm there in August, but then you want me back a month.
We got work to do.
Check my schedule. Sounds like a plan. Well, Lorelei, thank you so much for being with us. John and I are going to talk about some other things that have been transpiring on this side of town over here, and I just adore you, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
I'm
so happy to be here.
Tell people where they can find you on social.
Yeah, well, I'm posting something.
I am back. I don't know if you can see me or not.
Oh yeah, we can see you.
Hi, John. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Okay, I will make. Oh, John is not back.
Sorry, you're talking about where they can.
He's halfway back. He's making an entrance.
John's such a diva. He has to make his entrance.
He is. He's all.
Maybe I'll join you. Maybe I won't.
Look, he's going to be your predecessor at the event. He's going to get the next crown.
He's going for this crown over here. He wants it.
He is.
Oh,
that is a heck of a crown. Can you put your crown on?
Absolutely.
Here?
With
great. Look at that.
All right. Okay. So the inside is really beautiful. It's all hammered gold on the outside and the inside.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's quite heavy. And then Amit had the vision to design it with some combs, which you don't typically see. And then, so is everybody ready?
Yes. Where's our drum roll?
The moment.
Look at that thing. My goodness. And
yeah, it's my favorite crown. I do have some of the other ones here just in case. This is one of my Mrs. Globe crowns, just in case. I always have them nearby. This was my Mrs. Canada crown for the Mrs. Unity pageant. It's a little bit smaller.
See, I like that one. It's smaller, but it's
small, and it travels a little bit better than some of the other ones. But yeah, I have two other crowns too. They just look the same as this, so they're just tucked away.
I like the red. The red one is just la pièce de résistance.
Ah,
I love it.
I see John. John's back again.
Guess who's back? Back again. I love it. Well, Lorelei,
not sure for how long, but
we will say our goodbyes here.
Yes, I will leave you here. Thank you so much, Sarah. If I can say one more thing is everybody should be working with Sarah and then come on the podcast with John and know these two amazing people who've absolutely shaped the industry. And I'm just a mere participant in something much bigger than myself that both of you have contributed to greatly. So thank you. I will jump off and I will watch from my live feed.
I love you. Thanks, Lorelai. I
Bye.
appreciate your presence, and we'll catch up again soon.
Okay.
Bye, guys. Okay. Are we back without echo?
I think so. Are we?
We are. There's no echo. Yay.
All right. I don't know what's wrong with my feed. Like I'm the one hosting this, and yet it's through my computer, and yet you guys are coming through fine, and I'm the one here live, and I'm not like coming through. I don't know. And I'm looking at the feed here. I'm even like a little blurry on the feed too, and I don't know why, because I don't know what's going on. So
We'll figure it
hopefully
out.
we can fix that later on.
Our audience will forgive us. I mean,
Yeah.
we might have a few people watching right now, but at the end of the day, it is a comeback edition and it was last minute planned. So thank you guys for your patience that have been watching. We just wanted to get together and just talk about things that we've been up to. So, John, you've been super busy doing your school photos, and I think that you said that you did like 60,000 photos last month or so, or this month, something like that.
600.
600,000.
No. I wish. No, we did over 6,000 grads. So 6,600.
Oh, 6,600. Okay, gotcha. Because I was like, you have been busy.
Yeah, so
like, that's a lot of people.
if I did 66,000, that's probably all I would do. I wouldn't have to do anything else because I'd make a lot of money from that, I'm sure.
Like, you didn't call me for help. I could have flown out and helped.
Yeah, no, we do it every June. One of the local Ottawa, which is about an hour and a half away from here. They have a campus here in my town, but they have the big campus in Ottawa, and they have all the like 15,000 students in that. And so they have their graduation ceremony over 4 days. They do a Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and they do 3 ceremonies a day. And each one has anywhere from about 450 grads to about 700 grads, depending on the course that they're graduating that time. And so, and it's an assembly line basically. And if you go to my, I think it's on my Facebook, you can see it.
Yeah. You shared the video with me. It's one person, one picture, one person, one picture. And it's just a rotator belt of one person right after the other.
Yeah, it's an assembly line basically. And I have it being tethered to my laptop. So I'm watching it on the laptop. So if we see after I take that one shot that somebody's blinked, we call them back, say, hey, come on back. We need your picture again. So we shoot it right again. So we make sure we get at least one shot without a blink. And unfortunately, some people are upset because we don't pose them, because I don't have time. My goal is to get them shot and back to their seats before the ceremony is over. So I don't have time to be fussing in that. I basically have a set of footprints on the ground there, my 3 lights set up with my little backdrop. And I'm like, okay, stand there, look here, click. Okay, next, click, next, click, next. And it's done. We do about 15 to 18 graduates a minute.
I'm going to tell you, that's amazing. And that's just another way to express your creativity, because you've had some amazing people in front of your cameras also. So it's not like you don't know. You're not going to take a bad photo of someone. You're going to kind of wait for them to sink into their spot, even if it's only for 10 seconds. And then you got it. Yeah. That's great. I'm glad you got it.
And even then I have to really try to get it, because basically I only get 2 to 3 seconds with them. So it's basically look here, tilt the head, click. Look here, tilt the head, click. That's it. Like I don't have time to do anything. So, but the thing is, that was the 3rd week of June. So 17th to the 20th. And it's now been not even a month yet. We're about 2 days away from a month from the first ceremony. And we've already had about 450 to 500 orders come in from people ordering products from those shoots.
Awesome. As a photographer,
so it's a good money maker.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and it's always going to be there, right? So anyone can go back at any given time and order prints. It's kind of the same concept for Bodyscape, right? When I set Bodyscape magazine up, I never wanted to be on the newsstands. I never wanted that kind of responsibility, and nor did I have the budget or the patience or the wherewithal to figure out how to get that done. but it's print on demand, right? So print on demand is kind of the
Yep.
way to do things. And that will allow me to segue into this next piece, which is the artwork. So I'm actually going to text my group right now and let them know that now I'm talking about the artwork, because hang on.
Yeah, and I just threw up your cover from Bodyscape with Lorelei and Doug on it, just so people, if they didn't see it at the beginning, they can see it, hopefully.
Cool. So this past,
Because a lot of people might not have got to see it.
to see what, the magazine?
Yeah, I just threw it up on the screen there for people to see the cover with Lorelei and Doug on the cover.
Oh, it looks great. And we'll post in the comments later on, once the show is actually edited, how to acquire a hard copy of the magazine. But for the past, okay, last year, my husband and I took a trip to Africa in March, and he got me a special lens. It was a Canon 100 to 500 millimeter super special lens, just for the safari. So that's the only lens that I ever brought with me. And I didn't even think anything else outside of, I'm just going to take some photos of animals, and then I'm going to put a beautiful coffee table book together for the people that went, right? Well, got there. And as soon as you're on safari in Africa, and those people that have done a safari in Africa that have experienced this kind of thing, you know exactly what I'm talking about. As soon as you arrive, it's like, click, 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 you're taking photos of everything. And I got there and saw, what was it? It was one of the impalas. And I said, oh my gosh, to the tour guide, what is this fabulous animal right here? And he's like, it's basically feed for all of the wild. So this is like chum, right? For sharks. So it's an impala, right? And it's just, there are tens of thousands of them all in the wild, all over Africa. And they get
That's awesome.
stalked, unfortunately, and they are food for leopards. But I was like, this is the most beautiful animal ever. So I start with that. And then the tour guide starts taking us deeper and deeper. And I'm photographing baby leopards. I'm photographing elephants. I'm photographing lions, giraffes, zebras, like everything that I never thought that I would ever see in person, I was taking photos of. And I'm like, goodness gracious, this is insane. Is there something that is transpiring here within me as an artist? I'm not exactly sure what is going on here, but I'm feeling something. Is it just because I'm in Africa? But I started to wonder, like, this is something that could be really, really, really awesome. And what you're seeing here is a combination of like the lions in Botswana, the leopard in Mala Mala, the elephants in Mala Mala, elephants in Botswana, the ocean in Cape Town, Grand Canyon, Monument Valley. Like, basically what happened on that Africa shoot is I was a born again photographer. I learned a lot about composing images of wildlife. I had photographed horses before through our mutual friend, Monica Branch. She introduced me to the equine industry, and I was photographing horses a lot back in 2019 and 2020. So I had an idea how to compose animals, but when I got into Africa, it was a totally different thing, because you're not in a semi-controlled environment with the owner of the animal kind of listening to it and, you know, telling it what to do or anything like that. You're just there and you're rolling with whatever is happening right in front of you. So thank God I had some skill set for my photography and, you know, settings of my camera, which I come to find out later were totally off. And I'll get there in a minute. But when I got back from Africa, I had this entire gamut of photos of wildlife and landscapes and just these amazing images where I knew it like I knew it. There was something there to these photos. Our tour guide, who is from South Africa, Matthew Kent, he's the one that owns Kent World Travel. He's the one that put our big, beautiful trip together for us. He said, I'm South African and I have not ever seen photos like this before. And I've led safaris for years. Like, this is a thing. You've got something here. You need to do something with it. So it was through his encouragement and through his words that my thoughts that I would never announce to anyone else besides my husband were validated. So that was great. I wound up starting a little art gallery of my own in Scottsdale, which is where I live, maybe 2 months after we got back, and I was just doing nothing but let me go through my 7,000 plus photos that I have taken of Africa on my hard drive, and let me go through this, and let's go through this process. And Barry and I are like picking through things and looking, and I wound up having an amazing venue, which I was patronizing 2 to 3 times a week anyways, that let me put my artwork up there and like have a little mini gallery. We decided to do a launch, and 77 people came to my art showing. And I have no experience with art whatsoever, but I wound up selling on that opening at least 30 different images. And this is one behind me right here. This is of Namibia, which I'll make this a little bit more prominent in future podcasts, I promise. But just the thing of having this content now was just driving me from the inside. And I thought, gosh, there's something that needs to be done here. So I went through several different avenues of trying to connect with the right people to get my artwork sold, wound up costing me a fortune. And I was just kind of getting bummed. I'm like, gosh, there's some kind of way, there's got to be a way that I can facilitate these products in the right way. So literally the year passes, and I wake up on January 1st and I see this podcast or this broadcast on Instagram for the Thriving Artist Academy. And I thought, what is this? And so I copied the link, I emailed it to myself, and I sat down with my husband, because my husband's nowhere near, he doesn't touch. So, Barry is like, man, he's just out there he's in the side somewhere. It's just kind of as the cheerleader. So I showed him the link, and I said, is this something like, this feels like it could actually be something for me? And he goes, this is it. This is the thing that you do. So it's called the Thriving Artist Academy. And I wound up signing up for it. And the Thriving Artist Academy, what they do is they wind up showing you how to market your artwork online and how to start to facilitate art sales online. And you have to meet with the owner, Craig, and go through an interview process with him on the phone and show him your work and all the things. And the day that I met with Craig, he's like, sign up here for your 15-minute consult. So my 15-minute consult wound up being about an hour, because I just had so much content to show him. And I think inside of the first 5 minutes, he was like, girl, you're good. Like, you don't have to show me anymore. I'm getting tired of seeing your stuff. But I joined on with the Thriving Artist Academy, and I've been with them since January, and they have showed me the ropes. There's some amazing instructors on the team. I actually did a group tour with them, with the entire group. There was like 17 different photographers that signed up for a workshop for Sedona, the Grand Canyon, and Monument Valley, which is right outside my door. So I did that trip. It was 5 days long, and I got taken to school. You think you know photography until you get on one of these workshops, and they're like, you're doing this, like this is what you need to be doing. Like, ND filters, like long exposures, and you're getting picked up at 4:15 in the morning. And I'm like, what is this? This is not my production shoot for Bodyscape magazine. You know what I mean? It was just a completely different animal. And I loved every minute of it, because I was there to learn. I realized that I needed to be in the presence of other like-minded individuals. We're all after the same thing. All we want to do is just improve our craft. And we all know that there's a talent there, where there's a market for this type of artwork. So like you just set up right there on the screen, this is my Etsy store. So I'm now selling my artwork through the Etsy platform. Just through Etsy alone, I've had over 60 sales. And what you're looking for is to work with the Etsy algorithm. And this is literally step one in their process. Like I'm still at step one. I am ready to go to step two, which would be to get my own Amazon store. And I've already been approved to sell through Amazon. But the Etsy platform is super easy for people to figure out, in the sense that everything is just on a drop-down menu. It's really easy. There's beautiful mock-ups of the photos in different scenarios that the creator has facilitated himself. Craig has his own software where you can literally just like plug and play your photos into different sizing scenarios so that the people that are viewing your work get a chance to see what it's going to look like in a certain room environment, right? We're also learning so much about the algorithms and how AI, love it, hate it, it is what it is. We all call it artist interpretation in our group, like not artificial intelligence,
Exactly.
but artist interpretation. So that's our key, right? So we use artist interpretation, but AI is a big facilitator in how we get ranked in the search engines. And so we're learning about all of this stuff too. So I will say that if you are watching this podcast and you are a photographer, or maybe you're not even a photographer, but you just want to learn how to shoot and you want to go out and photograph some beautiful landscapes and be a part of a group of really awesome, like-minded individuals that are mature, I will tell you, John, okay, I'm 53. I was one of the younger ones there. Seriously, like we were with a group of people, 60s to early 80s. Like that was the vast
Wow.
majority of the group. And I loved that because you're not, you're not competing with people, and you've got basic lingo that you can all work within and talk amongst yourselves and share, and no one's trying to one up each other, and it's a beautiful thing to be involved with, and it's available all over the world. These guys just did a huge tour after Monument Valley, which was the last stop on our tour. They all took off directly to Paris, and we're doing workshops in London and in Ireland. And I think they've got one coming up in Egypt and New Zealand. I mean, these beautiful places that are all pre-laid out for you just to go, oh my gosh, I've always A, wanted to go there, and B, maybe I want to photograph some of this beautiful territory that we'll be in. All of the shoots
Definitely.
are already pre-planned. The events are already pre-planned out. So Thriving Artist Academy is where you want to go if you are interested in learning how to photograph and market your photos as a landscape photographer, for sure.
No, definitely. And if you ever do go to Ireland with them, make sure you go to the Butler Castle and get me some pictures of the Butler Castle.
Well, they were just there, and Barry right now, he's like, "You're staying within the nation, like you're not traveling overseas. World's a little crazy,
I'm the same way right now.
I know. So
Yeah.
I'm just kind of hunkered down in, the good old homestead right now. But no, there's a lot that's coming up with the team, and they've got some amazing plans. Uh, a lot of benefits for the artists. They do multi-weekly Zoom calls where you're just learning more about editing, you're learning more about SEO, you're learning more about artist interpretation, and everything that applies to having your work be seen by a lot more people. Because what you realize is when you're coming into this, you can't just go open a gallery. Like you think you can. I thought I could, but that was not what I needed to be doing. I needed to be learning. I needed to be educated. I needed to be around a group of like-minded individuals that's in the same exact position as me. I've been behind the camera for almost 2 decades with fitness and fashion.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. No one cares about that when they're buying your artwork. They're like, so what if you
No.
publish a magazine? So what if
Yeah.
you're one of the top 10 fitness photographers in the world? Like, really, we don't care. What does your art look like? And how
Nope.
can we compare it to the millions of
Exactly.
other
We don't want to
pieces?
put those fitness models on our wall. We want your artwork.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So, super just proud to talk about that and everything that's been going on. And that's one of the reasons why we haven't been able to connect with getting the show regenerated, right? Because it takes time. It's like I got another job, right? I've got everything that I'm still
Yep.
doing with Epic, and now this, and it's like Sarah had to
Exactly.
learn to compartmentalize her time to
Yep.
do the things with the people that I won't stop doing anytime soon, because that is my forte.
No, exactly. But you have to take time for yourself too, and you have to do your things. I mean, I've been the same as you. I mean, I've been busy not only with the school stuff and with the local sports, but also, of course, we talked about it earlier. I became a grandpa 8 months ago, where my daughter had a nice
So
baby
awesome.
boy.
Congratulations.
So, and they live with us. So, I mean, I've been trying to deal with family stuff too, and making sure I have time for that. And then on top of that, my other podcast that I have, which is a passion of mine. I started a new website with it too to make it easy for people to see it and what it's about and to go check it out now. So, and if anybody wants to see that, of course, if you don't mind me saying, it's butlersbabble.com. You can just go to
Others have-
butlersbabble.com and you can find it on there. And yeah, I've been busy with all that stuff. And then and with me, I'm like you, I've been staying on the homestead because the world's gone crazy now, especially with traveling. And even going from here in Canada to the States has been a real it's not been easy with the way that the new politics have gone on both your side and our side, because we both went through changes in the last 2 years with new leaders and things like that, and things are going crazy. And who knows, even with cameras, like, I don't know about you, but I'm getting scared about what our camera equipment's going to be costing us soon, because with all these tariff stuff and that, I mean, things are getting expensive. I lucked out. I just got, and I was showing you earlier today, my new toy that I want to use this for, like doing behind the scenes and things like this. Is the new Insta360 Ace Pro 2 that came out. It's basically, and the reason I'm glad I just got it, and the only reason I'm bringing it up, is because I just read an article the other day saying that apparently GoPro has sued Insta360 this camera,
Oh, wow.
and for proprietary reasons and things like that. And if it goes through and they end up winning, you will never be able to buy this camera because it'll be pulled off the shelves, and there won't be a number 3 come out. So I got it when I did, because it actually is knocking a lot of GoPros off the shelf right now. So but yeah, I'm hoping to do that, because I want to come to one of your epic destination shoots one day as a guest and just do some behind the scenes with this little guy and
That's
have some fun and
Florida.
watch Miss her job and do her thing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna do it, and you're gonna meet the whole crew. But can you come to Florida next month?
No.
That's all I got for you.
I
right
can't
now.
do it next month. I would love to, but of course, and I do have that here somewhere. We were talking about that, and
Yeah.
and it's funny. I'm gonna have to get a new computer to do this podcast. And I think that's what it is. I think it's this little computer thing I'm using that's causing it, because every time I go to share something, I think that's what's happening too. But I do want to share this, and I'm hoping it's going to work, because this is one reason why we wanted to come on here, is we wanted to
That's right.
share.
Epic
Let's see if it
destination.
actually show. Oh, I think it's showing this time.
Yay.
Did that actually come up?
No,
Yay, there we go, because we want to advertise this.
Came up. It totally looks like a screenshot, but everybody gets the idea. So yes, I'll be back in
That's
Miami.
okay.
So yeah, I will be available in Miami the 21st. Well, schedule's filling. So 23rd through 25th is now full, and there's a possibility of the 20th through the 23rd being open. And that is just for any kind of photo shoot that you'd like to do. So head over to epicdestinationshoot.com, just like it says in the flyer, and you can find out about all the photo shoot packages. But these are the dates. Again, I have been so busy with the artwork piece of life that I have not updated the website for this specific shoot coming up. But here it is. You get the idea. We'll be posting the flyer again on Facebook and Instagram at some point sometime soon to get the details and everything like that. But it, again, like those shoots are working with my high level fashion stylist, my high level hair and makeup girl, Lisa Opie. Like we do it, right? And there's videos that are on that website too that you can see some background work of the things that's why John wants to come, is because he's seen all the videos. He's like, wait, I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of the production.
I have to get you to shoot me.
Yeah, right. And also to use content for our show. Hello, we have that. So that's going to be fun.
Exactly.
But
yes. We could actually do an actual show together.
We could broadcast live, like, and have no hiccups with any kind of audience, you know, like echoes
exactly
like that. Do you do drone photography?
I do have it. Yes. I have one of my drones. I'll have to upgrade it, but I do have one. Yes.
There's a few guys in our academy that are excellent drone photographers, and girls too. But I'm like, I don't have a drone. I honestly have no interest in having a drone, because I'm like, these people are too good. And a lot of their work that they're posting is via the drone. And it's just insane. It's so cool. So you get to get these different perspectives.
Exactly.
And it just looks amazing. It's like, you guys got that. I did not. And
I had to get one because I also do realty photography here too for some realtors, where I go and shoot the houses for them. And so they need drone shots for that. So, and I'm getting into corporate video too, because we do a lot of corporate, like headshots, branding photos, and we're now getting into branding video. So I like this camera here. You can't tell by this feed right now because my computer sucks. But this camera does 4K video, and I'm getting a second one that's going to be doing the 4K. So we actually are starting to get into branding video too. We have the microphones, the studio lights and everything like that. Like, it's funny. I didn't even, when I lit this, it looked good on my camera and that, but now I look really red. I'm going to have to really fix myself for the next one. So we
When
can look a
you're
little
in
bit better.
focus, you look just right. Like the room is set up perfectly. Before I dipped out, we had everything dialed in perfectly. I was at the apartment. Now I'm in a new
Exactly.
office. Like, I gotta find a scene, some kind of light like what you've got, these salt lamps behind. You got to find something, a vibe. But I just want to thank
Exactly.
everyone that has watched or even partially watched for hanging with us today during our echoes, during our pauses, and just kind of welcoming the whole system back the way that it was
See, the
intended.
problem is there's a piece on here. If you look over on the side there where your thing is, you'll see it says echo cancellation. It's on. When I came out, when I got kicked out, when I came back in, while it's recording, it won't let you turn it back on. And that's where the echo was coming from. But it shouldn't have, because I got headphones on, but I found a way to get around it when I came in the last time. But for some reason, I keep freezing and but I don't know what it is. So next time will be even better, I promise. And if anybody does go to this Miami, South Florida shoot that you're doing, they could be maybe not only the next cover of one of your magazines, but they might be a guest on this show next time too. That's another
exactly
incentive
right.
to get them
You
to
never
come
know.
there.
You never know what's going to happen. You seriously just don't, or who you're going to encounter,
Exactly.
or how you're going to meet them. And it's just, all of it is just a blessing. And my fake plant is so prominent right here.
Well, it's so funny how you and I met. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you and I met through both Monica and Carrie Lee Brown, through the things that you did with them. And because I've known Carrie Lee Brown since 98, I think we worked it out, Carrie and I, when we both worked at Muscle Mag together.
Yeah.
And so through that, and that's how we got linked up. And then you and I just started talking. And then you told me about this. And I said, well, I'm doing the podcast. We should do a podcast about it. Like, yeah, let's do it. It's just funny how things happen and how you meet people. I always still think that people come in your life for a reason.
Absolutely. No doubt. There's definitely the truth, the reason and the season. There's that. And you were working in Muscle Mag when I was getting published in there a lot. So my name, back then was different. It was Sarah Lyons. And so you probably saw my photos come across your desk in the publishing circle too, Oh, and then let's fast forward it again to a photo shoot that
I do remember your face when I saw some pictures later on. I do remember your face from back then when I did see the pictures later on, but I didn't know you back then.
No, we didn't know each other. But who I just photographed recently, talk about full circle, was Trish Stratus.
Okay,
and Trish Stratus was on the cover of almost every edition of Muscle Mag magazine. And so I know she was coming across your desk for sure. So that's
she used to watch. She lived down the street from us, and she would come into the office all the time, and that's how I met her. And then I used to go to some bodybuilding shows locally, and she happened to be there. And it's funny, before she was even in the wrestling, they used to have a show. There's a sports station here called TSN, and they used to have a show called On the Record with Mark Landsberg, and he interviewed 3 or 4 people on his show all the time. It was just like a talk show type of thing. And they were doing a live feed of that from the Toronto Sky Dome where the Blue Jays play, with 3 of the wrestlers, because the wrestling was in town to film. I think it was a Monday Night Raw or something like that. So they were doing one with some wrestlers. They had The Undertaker. They had, I can't remember the other ones, but they had a bunch of them. I think Adam Copeland was on it, who plays Edge, of course. Who's a local Toronto guy. And so Trish had called me up and said, hey, John, they're doing a live feed here of On the Record at the Sky Dome, and they want me to be on it with the wrestlers, because she always wanted to get into wrestling. She knew, and they had called her, said, well, don't worry about it. We'll get you up to date of who's who in the wrestling. And that she, no, you don't understand. I know them all. I watch wrestling all the time. I'm going to be a wrestler, blah, blah, blah. And that's my goal. So before she was a wrestler, she was introduced to the show, and she called me up and says, I think Bob would like some pictures for that. So I said, okay. So I met her there, and she got me into the press area there. And while she was on the show, I was shooting pictures of her there, and I didn't have to worry about lighting in that because it was all lit video and stuff. I just had to shoot available light basically with my long lens. And then when it was over, she goes, John, come here. And she took me downstairs to the dressing rooms, and that's where they were all getting ready. And there's The Undertaker and Adam that. So I actually got some shots with her with those wrestlers and stuff like that. And then they ended up selling those to Muscle Mag. So Trish and I go back a long way. And I used to go to a bodybuilding show and she'd be there, maybe guest posing or at a booth there. So we'd hang out together and then I'd drive her back to the hotel because it turned out not only were we in the same hotel, but she was about 4 units down from my room. So 4 rooms down from mine. So we just drove together. So I've known Trish for quite a long time, actually. There's a picture somewhere on one of my Facebook pages or whatever I did for Cardillo belts of her because she had called me up and said, Steve
we were
Cardillo sent me these
actually
belts.
able to get her on our show? Like, wouldn't that be something?
I'll bet
you
I say we try. I think she would do it. I mean, between the two of us, we both know her. So, I mean, if you reach out to her, I'm sure she would. I have her somewhere too. I can reach out to her. And then, but yeah, like she got me some work and that's actually Steve Cardillo ended up using one of the belts. This wrestler used one of the pictures of her and with her belt on one of his cows or something like that. It was her, and she had a purple bikini on, and this purple belt made for her said "Stratisfaction Guaranteed" or something like that on it, I think, which became her slogan later in life.
Slogan, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you
So
know,
I say we reach out and we get her on.
she is the next Bodyscape cover model.
Oh, there you go.
So
I think that would be a great way to show people her issue.
And that's going to be an issue. Let me tell you, we haven't even talked about like all the other things, but it's going to be an issue. I'll tell you. So John, I'm so grateful that we got a chance to redo this. Oh my gosh, we're like over an hour, but guys, and thank you for watching. Thank you for your patience. Any of you or all of you that have stuck through any portion of this show, we are super grateful.
It gets better, I promise.
It does get better. Like let's get Sarah a set and some lighting. I'm going to do that.
Well, you got to remember the very first episode we did was just you and I was having kinks with that old program we were doing. It was the first time ever doing a live stream from there. And we had kinks with that too. And if you look, you can go back and look at it. You look amazing. I'm all blurry in that on it. And it took a while for me to get the kinks out of that. So I'm going to this computer system, I think, for that, or use something different next time, or even do it from, I'll figure something out. And
this is your tech side talking. And I think that you're the only one that cares about this. Like you're just identifying what you need to do on your end to make yourself feel, but you have my commitment.
We'll make it work.
We will make it work. And we're going to do at least a show a month. That's what we're going to do. Like you've got my commitment for that. Okay, good. And it was so great reconnecting with you too, John. Thank you for your time.
Definitely.
Thanks,
and
guys.
Thank you, Lauralee, for coming back on.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Lorelei, for everything. And when we get the Bodyscape edition up and running, it will be on the Instagram page at Bodyscape Magazine. And then you can grab your copy online when we post the link here below. And thanks again for watching, everybody. Welcome back to On Set with Sarah and John. And then we will see you next time. Take care.
Next time. Yay.